never seen an exodus like this.
People are just leaving.
It's foolish.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
For President Trump, the past 2 weeks have been extremely trying. The consequences are imminent, as Stormy and Cohen have been discussing his dirty laundry. Even his most ardent MAGA followers are beginning to defect. At a campaign rally in Wildwood, New Jersey, Trump put on a disaster of a show.
It all happened in the New Jersey town of Wildwood, which, if you've never been there before, imagine if a bootleg Rick and Morty t-shirt was somehow a place.
As per usual, the speech was grounded more in fiction than in reality. Listening to his 90-minute tirade was hard to watch. Trump appears deranged and unhinged, as it is beginning to become more clear that the man is losing it. He attacked Biden on everything from the cost of bacon to inflation, drawing more jeers than a subpar stand-up comedian. And because of it, his cult members are beginning to abandon him, unable to stand his nonsense any longer.
It's a lot of people. Just
I was shocked. I came up and I thought, well, I'm going to hang out in the back, so I was like,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, well, everybody's leaving.
It's possible that MAGA fans are finally waking up because Trump has completely lost it. However, the Republican propagandists persisted, inflating the figures and announcing a record-breaking crowd of 100,000 enthusiastic listeners.
And when you see Wildwood on Saturday, where he has 100,000 people show up, 100,000 people.
The attendance estimate has varied from 10,000, 20,000 to upwards of 80,000.
It's clear from the rally videos that there weren't many ardent MAGA supporters in attendance. People who assert differently, such as Trump's purported world-class fact-checkers, may want to plan a trip to the doctor. It was in fact Trump's spectacular comeback to the Wildwood stage during his re-election campaign in 2020, which inspired some supporters to dust off their Make America Great Again caps and wave them with newfound vigor. As expected, Trump delivered an expert-level tirade. Naturally, he spoke endlessly on a variety of topics, including the economy, President Joe Biden's border policy, student protests, and his own legal issues. He even threw in a few digs about judges and his own legal problems, since what would a Trump speech be without a little self-pity and blame shifting? However, Trump's discussion of the nation's most pressing issue was the speech's best part.
In his speech, Trump addressed the #1 issue for voters, a 33-year-old movie.
Silence of the Lamb. Has anyone ever seen it?
Oh, I love Silence of the Lamb.
Even MAGA supporters found it unbearable when he began babbling absurdities like equating himself with Hannibal Lecter and quoting from Silence of the Lambs.
And speaking of the former president, he returned to the campaign trail over the weekend and, while doing so, offered some praise for one of the most notorious fictional characters of all time.
Initially, the throng extended all the way to the back walls of Trump's beach gathering. However, people began to withdraw from his performance more quickly than his tax results, approximately 45 minutes in.
It's one of my favorite movies. Right up there with Star Wars, Dance with Wolf, and Jaw.
Proceeding, Trump could not help but boast that his audience outnumbered Bruce Springsteen's. However, he spoke too soon, as the front row of chairs became empty faster than promised at a political rally in a matter of seconds. The exodus was so blatant that Trump couldn't have missed it with his spray tan. He pretended to be unaware, saying, "I haven't noticed anybody leaving," rather than taking responsibility for it. No one is going anywhere. They never go away. It's time to hang it up when people start to go. It is like witnessing a magician refute the claim that the rabbit vanished from the hat. Like his choice of spray tan color, Trump's assertion that his supporters never desert him is audacious. We literally observed them go off stage left in front of us. Trump's selective vision came into play during his speech when he said, "I haven't noticed anybody leaving." How about projecting? Even those in the front rows were eyeing the exits like they were VIP lounges, as people were leaving the ship faster than rats from a sinking ship. You may be asking now how terrible things went for those who spent the entire day at the demonstration just to be there. Attending a Trump rally is akin to entering a different dimension, almost like entering the upside down from Stranger Things. However, even Seth Meyers expressed his opinion about Trump's disastrous show without holding back.
Away from the confines of the courtroom, Trump rallies, beachside at the Jersey Shore. Watch your French fries, Donald Trump. Those seagulls are mighty hungry. Away from the confines of a courtroom, Trump rallies beachside at the Jersey Shore. Why does every New York Times headline about Trump sound like an old-timey newsreel?
Seeing Donald McDonald's, because let's face it, he's serving up a lot of clownery, go to such lows as to disparage his own family. His wife, his kid, you name it, is incredibly depressing. The dude lacks grace on par with a bull in a china shop. How about Seth Meyers? Yes, he is the supreme linguistic wrecker when it comes to exposing Trump's absurdities. However, Trump was so thoroughly exposed in the hush money trial that he is now unable to give a speech that would captivate MAGAs and keep them riveted to the end. It seems as though he exchanged his gift of gab for a marble bag. People hurried to create comprehensive transcripts of his remarks while he was preoccupied with babble. However, even with his words emblazoned on the screen, it was like trying to decipher alien hieroglyphs.
We need Trump back to make our country great again. Our country, if we get Biden back in there, it's totally gone.
You look at the economy, the real economy, not the fake economy. Everything they touch turns to what?
When Trump did manage to put together a cogent phrase, it was usually followed by a wild and predictable tirade of profanity and campaign slogans. It was harder to endure his 90-minute tirade than to gnaw on a rock. He attacked Biden on everything from the cost of bacon to inflation, drawing more jeers than a subpar stand-up comedian. But hey, there's a prize waiting for the person who can figure out what he was trying to say in those meandering passages. It still amazes me that during his address, Trump genuinely made a Hannibal Lecter comparison, and his MAGA fans didn't react quickly enough. Imagine yourself supporting your candidate at a political gathering when, all of a sudden, he starts drawing comparisons between himself and a fictional cannibal serial killer and a real-life criminal lord. Who indeed speaks that way? Hold on, things get better. Simultaneously, he is uttering deplorable falsehoods regarding the state of the economy, asserting that when he was president, everything was positive, but that under Biden, things were becoming worse. He's also been portraying this idyllic picture while keeping an eye on his own fans, who are leaving the scene quicker than you can say fake news.
Just there for the money, you know. And for Mr. Trump to sit through all that, that's
100,000 tickets were requested. They could only fill about 20,000, maybe 25 if they're lucky.
Imagine having to travel from who knows where and wait all day to hear this guy compare himself to a cannibal and tell lies about the state of the economy. How awful had it to be for them to go in such a manner? To stop people from supporting Trump in the future, it is imperative that we spread the word about his policies and raise awareness of them. Recent occurrences, such as his remarks at the campaign rally, emphasize how crucial it is for voters to consider their options carefully. It is imperative that MAGA supporters use critical thinking and challenge Trump's actions and remarks. Seeing some people leave the event gives hope that they are willing to think for themselves rather than just accept Trump's instructions without question. Hopefully, by drawing attention to these occurrences and provoking greater critical thought regarding Trump's appropriateness for government, we can stop him from receiving further support. Interesting in joining the fight to keep democracy alive and keep fascism out of the White House.
As you know, I've come here from New York, where I'm being forced to endure a Biden show trial, all done by Biden. We are going to officially play in the state of New Jersey. We're going to win the state of New Jersey.
If you are someone who is tired of the lies and flat-out disgusting behavior of certain politicians, join our mission by sharing this video and channel with everyone who needs to see the truth. Subscribe, hit that like button, and send this video to everyone who believes that nobody is above the law. The truth will always prevail. Stay calm, subscribe, and vote.